And I'd like to welcome Minister Dowd back to the House this afternoon. I'd also like to commend Senator Bacik for proposing this motion and Senator Van Turnhout for seconding the motion. It's great when we have cross-party support, and I must say it is a good day for the Seanad, and again, a good day, that we can have cross-party support for very important issues like this. It is very disappointing that in 2014 there are still young girls of all nationalities and backgrounds that are being coerced or forced into marriage anywhere in the world. The current legislation here provides that the minimum legal age for marriage is 18, but there is a possibility for an exemption from the minimum age when one or both individuals seeking to get married are under 18. It has been agreed across a number of reputable and regarded bodies that 18 years is the appropriate minimum age for marriage. Indeed, internationally, this has been agreed in 158 countries where legislation has been passed to raise the minimum age to 18. While the practice in Ireland, as the Minister has said, is not particularly prevalent, or as prevalent as it once was, I still think that there are many people in communities across Ireland who are still aware of an individual or a case where a girl under the age of 18 years of age has entered into marriage. I'm personally aware of this occurring in my role as a teacher. I remember having one pupil who belonged to a family where, as they reached the age of 16, the girls went into an arranged marriage with other people, and very often were moved out of the town. So not only were they being married, but they were also moving away from the town when they were children themselves. And I remember one child that I taught, who came into the school as a music teacher. She took up music, had never played an instrument before, and was extremely bright, and took to music very, very well. Came across internationally, first time on an aeroplane, first time on a bus to come with me to play, and arrived back, and I was shocked when I came back to school in September and discovered that this little one was married. And the following year I ran into her, I met her. She was down from Dublin back to Dundalk for the day with twins in tow. So I felt this child was barely 17, I'd say, and was married and had 2 children. That was a few years ago, and I don't know, but I know it certainly brought home to me, and she was quite happy, and was very happy. But I just think the opportunities that we're losing, and I know that some people, the cultures that are there, but I just do think we ought to let our children be children for until they're at least 18. And if the minimum age was raised to 18, we would be able to provide these safeguards and the possibilities of further opportunities for these girls. When a child is forced into marriage, they are stripped of their precious years. They're forced to grow up immediately and exposed to adult realities, which I feel is, as everybody else here agrees, is completely unacceptable and wholly unfair. These girls are given very little respect for their own abilities and worth. And as I said, I mean, there are cases where, you will have, as I said, when I know this particular girl that I had the fortune to teach, she was quite happy. It wasn't that she wasn't unhappy, but my point was that, she was 17 years of age, she had 2 small babies, and to me, she had a whole life, and I hope that she, did have the opportunity to go back to education and be the person that I know that she could be. It is estimated that 400 young women, and this was something that I actually wasn't aware of, are being trafficked into the country for the purpose of forced marriage for a variety of reasons. I recall a number of years ago hearing reports of migrant children being forced into a marriage as young as 12 years of age. The exemption currently provided under the law does not at all provide for an appropriate protection for minors involved. It's surprising that there are no guidelines or criteria for the granting of an exemption, and no provision for minors to be represented at these hearings. What further worries me is that child protection authorities do not have to be notified in the case of an exemption, and I think that's very, very serious and needs to be changed. The Minister has noted that the instance of forced marriage is very rare in Ireland, but I would put it to you, Minister, that we may be unaware of many cases that are out there, and even one instance of this occurring, I feel, is one too many. I do think it's positive that an interdepartmental group will be formed to consider this issue, and would put it to the House that we follow up on this matter immediately when we come back in the autumn, schedule to include it in the legislative session. We've had numerous motions in the House concerning child welfare, and again I'd just like to thank Senator Bacik, my own Labour colleagues, and Senator Van Turnhout for seconding the motion, and would join in them in asking Government to consider removing or amending the provision allowing minors to marry on the basis of a court exemption.